to another episode of Black Girls Talk. And at this point, as many times this man that made an appearance on my podcast, you might as well call this Black Girl Talk with a black man.
What the fuck? That's not. I don't think that's what you should call it.
But it's cool. It's cool. You know, you and I got something. Anyway. Welcome
Okay.
back, Jaylen.
Good to be back.
My nigga made it the back-to-back seasons.
It's great. I enjoy it every time I do it.
You love it here.
I do.
Oh, so let's talk about. It's really kind of like a world thing, but mainly in our community, it's always we try to seek validation, or we always seeking approval from others, and it's like, why do we do that,
That's a.
or why do y'all do that?
I mean, damn. When you say y'all, what do you mean? Like, I got a demographic or some shit that.
And no, it's just us. We us talking about our own people. We talking to them. I mean, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure there's some Caucasians that's listening, which that's totally fine. But like, I need you to
Also,
extra
dark skinned Caucasians that are listening.
We not gonna talk about that. You know what? I can't know. Let me not say y'all, because I have tried to seek approval, but I try to seek approval from someone that gave birth to me. You
Yeah.
know. So it's just like, why do we always gotta validate ourselves to other people? Like, why do we do that?
I think in some cases that it gives people joy sometimes to feel accepted or feel needed or important, and sometimes I kind of feel like that's human nature, like for influencers and people that social media market, they seek approval for their product or for themselves or their brand. Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's really really detrimental. So I think it really all depends on the situation, as to why people would seek approval.
Have you seeked approval before? Like, have you tried to seek validation from others?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I have.
What the fuck?
I was known as a people pleaser. Like, I growing up, I was definitely somebody that always seeked approval because I never really got it from my mom and my dad wasn't really around, so I really would try to get attention or approval anywhere I could get it.
Now, I can vouch for that. I never. I think by the time I got into high school is when I stopped seeking approval from my mother, or trying to seek for validation from people, because I always sat there and thought, okay, maybe if I do this or that, it will make my mom proud. Just to hear the words "I'm proud of you" is probably something I was always chasing.
Mm.
Now, it's like, what do we get out of that? Like, what comes out of seeking those approvals and those validations? Is, like you said, does it bringing up how it makes people bring joy to them? Like,
Mm-mm.
since you've been there, done that, what did you get out of it?
Exactly that. I really got joy out of that whole thing for me, honestly. And I mean, it also, like, it wasn't like it showed up without its repercussions,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not like it appeared without there being a reason for it appearing besides my mom. Like, I like, if people who know me, I look like Jordan from the Bernie Mac show. So, or like when I was a kid, I really looked like Jordan from the Bernie Mac show. So I didn't necessarily have people looking my way. And when they did, it
Let me
was
hold
like,
on. Hold on. I gotta correct myself for laughing. It's the fact, because like I don't want them like, oh, she's laughing, she's making fun of him. Like, no, like he really did look like Jordan growing up. He was
oh,
really
oh
Jordan.
my God, bro. Don't go down my Instagram looking at pictures. I know what I look like. Okay. You don't have to remind me. But no, you're right. Like, that's just what that shit was. And I couldn't go anywhere without like being constantly reminded of that, or like being in certain classes where like I was constantly reminded of the fact that I wore glasses and I had a weird uneven fro, and I dressed as this grungy teenager in high school that was just trying to find his place, I guess. And
Especially in the high school that we went to, it was pretty one of the top suburban schools in the state of Ohio.
yeah,
So it's just like you're always in tribulations. I can see why a lot of people, especially as black kids, especially in a pretty predominant white neighborhood, where we're always, I can see where we can seek approval, seek validation, and seek to be accepted.
yeah,
Now, speaking of high school, going through this high school stuff and learning, finding yourself, seeking for, like, seeking shit. Would you say that even now going into adulthood, some of us, maybe me, maybe you, are holding on to these high school titles that pumped our heads up, made us popular or whatever, and then they're still trying to seek that title outside of high school 5 years later, going to 10 years later now as adults? Like all of us is pushing what, 25 now?
almost.
So like, do you think some people are still seeking that, or like trying to live up to that title, that high school title expectations?
I believe so, definitely. Um, I mean, some of us have been to college, you know. Some of us peaked in high school. Some of us never peaked at all yet, you know. I kind of, I in high school, I didn't really have titles. I didn't have a title at all. People just knew me because I went to school there, and I hung out with some people that people didn't like, or I hung out with people that, you know, were just that just didn't really bother anybody, you know. Um,
And still getting got bullied for just staying to themselves.
yeah, yeah,
Like I was, I
too. Like,
can't lie. Like once I transferred to that high school, or to that school system, I think that's why you and I have been close all these years, because like we never try to seek for, like we never seek approval. I mean, I never was seeking approval from nobody once I moved here. I knew that I'm only placed here because whatever hope my mom had from education. So like I had no choice but to be here. Only thing I got of it was the fact that I didn't have to wear uniform no more. I didn't have
no,
to wear the same shit every fucking week. Like I was able to fucking express myself.
I'm really glad our school never had uniforms because I
We
was.
hold on. Let me hold on. Technically, y'all did.
Did
Hear me
we?
out. Hear me out. The Aeropostale and the Omicron Fitch American Eagle T-shirt. Everybody had the same fucking T-shirt, but just in different colors. It was Is that not a uniform?
That was definitely like middle school though. Like middle school definitely like was like that. That I swear I think if you ask me like middle school to about like junior year is when you're seeking approval from people in an education system. Like I feel like middle school years are very crucial to that, especially like when we were growing up because name brands were a thing. But I'm gonna be honest, I was broke. Okay, I had one Aeropostale shirt, these jeans, and these pair of LeBrons, man. And whenever I wore them, I felt like the man. Like I felt like people could like. I felt like I was actually accepted in something. I remember I was walking to my health class, and I think it was who was it? I think it was it Savion? I think it was Savion. I'm walking up to the door, and he's like, "Bro, you look fresh, man. Like you look good." And like, bro, to this day, bro, I was like, "Thanks, man." Like I was like, "Yeah, you know, like I picked this out myself. You know, I did what I had to do. You know, in the clothing section. In all actuality, though, my auntie got me that Aeropostale shirt and the LeBrons. I don't know where I got those from, but all I knew was when I got them, I was like, this is gonna kill him."
And
When I
that's another thing that blew me about going through that whole school system, is the fact that it was all about brands. Because the neighborhood we lived in is pretty wealthy. Pretty
yeah,
wealthy to a certain degree, to the point where it's like, yeah, you got money, you're gonna spend it. Now, with me, I was wearing designer brands that literally in that era time frame that we grew up in, that's pretty much are now getting rebranded and refreshed and revised. I was wearing pastry. I got bullied for wearing pastry. I got bullied for wearing baby fat. I was wearing rocker wear. I was wearing all the shit that we would normally wear. In
if you
that
wearing
mid that
baby
that that
fat,
mid 2000 era. I never
yeah,
had apple bottom.
you
Never had
never had
no.
apple bottom.
Nope. I
Oh,
literally shirt that red jacket with the fur on it. That was fucking baby fat.
I'll tell you what, if you wore apple bottom or wore baby fat, either now you have a fat ass or you just got a BBL. There's no in between there. Okay? None. No in between there.
The thing and the crazy thing about it is just like I never had the American Eagle, the Aeropostale. I never wore none of that shit, and I got bullied for wearing pastry, like shit that was really like that was big.
Man,
That was in Fashion Week. Brands that were in Fashion Week.
I'll tell you what, bro. I was so broke one time that I had to get US Polo Assassin. Oh my
So
god.
it's just like with people that's out here seeking validation, approval, and then holding on to these high school titles, I feel like it created that mindset to where they constantly got to prove people wrong.
Uh-huh.
I am one of the people that at one point when I stopped giving a fuck, I did still feel like I had to prove this person wrong. But that's because of what I was told growing up. I was told I was never gonna make it to college. I made it to like a year and a half though. But I got accepted to colleges. I had colleges calling me asking like, "Yo, where's your? Are you sure you still are we still going through the process?" I proved them wrong. Talk about I was never gonna graduate high school. Graduate with high school with more than credits that I was supposed to graduate with. And I created a fashion club within that school system with two other friends.
As you should.
I did everything. I pretty much every time someone said I could not do it, I did it. So in a sense, could that create that mindset? Like I said, have you ever feel like that you had to prove people wrong for either what they said or just to validate yourself?
Uh Always. To this day, there are certain things that I do to prove a point because I I, I kind of always growing up when I grew up with my grandfather and my grandmother, they're from a very old time period. Like he was born in 32. So, and he's from like the South. So he grew up in some of the worst time periods to be in the South, honestly. Actually, pretty much the worst time period to be in the South. And he was very, as much as I tell you, my grandfather was a tank. Okay. I mean, it was a unit. There were certain things that he'd be very pessimistic sometimes, and it would have effects on me. And especially like growing up, toward my freshman year, where, I'm a kid that has ADHD and things, it really becomes prevalent as you get older. So when you're dealing with stuff like that and you stop taking medication, you start to slip on a lot of things. And then when people doubt you, it like kind of amplifies like two times, three times more. And it gets to a point where sometimes when you're doing a certain task, it's like, all right, I either have to finish this because, I don't want people to sit down and think I couldn't do something, or you kind of sit down and you're like, I have to finish this because it's the only thing I can focus on. So, but definitely, like, proving people wrong was definitely a thing for me, and it still is a thing for me. Uh, it always brings me a point to want to make people who doubted me see that I could do whatever I put my mind to, or I could do whatever you said I couldn't do. So,
I feel like with all everything that goes on, I don't think a lot of people acknowledge that we do go through our own battles mentally with ourselves. Like we are always, I think we should either be our biggest fans or our biggest critics at the end of the day. And I feel like no matter what the situation is or anything like that, I feel like fuck seeking approval from everybody else. Fuck trying to make other people happy. Cause like it can benefit them if you're doing the most for them and like you're always being like pretty much like I said being a people pleaser to them. But what about yourself? And I feel like at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, it's just like you only need to validate yourself because 9 out of 10 times you're gonna close that door, lay your head to rest, and go to sleep, and you're gonna sleep by yourself.
mhm.
So you need to validate yourself. You need to validate only you because you, you got to make yourself happy at the end of the day.
Always.
And then I feel like when people do that stuff to seek approval and all stuff like that, I feel like they doing it to because of lack of belief in themselves, and that may play a part in word like their love language, which is like word of affirmation, or it really just stems to the fact that lack of self esteem, so and lack of self love. So I feel like certain people, I'm not saying you, but I feel like when you're seeking approval or seeking for validation, and you're doing things to please others, it seemed like it's a lack of something within yourself.
Most definitely. I am one of those people, so it's okay. But yeah, no, most definitely, it's always something missing there. Um, and really, for people that really struggle with that, I guess a word of advice from me is that no one's going to love you like you love you. You know, so and it's a journey. It is a
Oh,
journey.
that sounds like something I said to you.
Yeah, yeah, it does sound like something you said to me. I think you have said that to me before. Um, but it is a journey to take that step because self love is not easy to attain,
It's
especially
not.
yeah, especially like when you grew up like being called certain names, like being fucking dog walked, you know, in some cases, even on the internet. Like I got dog walked on the internet. I got fucking slandered in person. Granted, you know what? If you knew me when I had straight hair for a second, that was well
Oh.
deserved, and we're not gonna pass by that. We're not gonna pass by that like it wasn't well deserved. Okay, we're never gonna do that shit again. But once again, dog walked. All right. So when you are able to get past all the things people said to you and able to get past all the things that people have done to you, and when you are able to forgive that, that's one major step into taking a journey into loving yourself. And I'm telling you, when you achieve self love, man, that shit is like it's like nirvana, or it's more like reaching like another pinnacle of yourself that you didn't know you could reach.
I think at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, I think us as Black people, myself, you and I, everybody in this world, we gotta believe in ourselves. And like I stated in one of my quotes that's on Instagram, like we're fucking awesome. We're the most superior race ever. And it's just like you gotta take time out to believe in yourself, to like love yourself, to encourage yourself because when it's all said and done, will you be happy with everything that you have did? You may not be happy. Certain things you may be like, y'all, I wish I may have changed. But at the end of the day, when you go through all that whole analyzing breakdowns and also like that, will you be happy? Fuck what everybody else is gonna think. Will you be happy? And that's when I feel like even I'm growing into this mindset where it's just like fuck them. In the words of Kid Cudi, fuck them. Oh, why
Mm-hmm.
did they feel this type of way? Fuck them. you know, I think I wish that a lot of us really did believe in ourselves more instead of depending on others to tell us because
Yeah,
the power that we hold within ourselves in the space that we create is beyond the words and beyond anything that anybody else can say.
for sure. Definitely. Most
Now,
definitely.
Jaylen, as always, thank you for always stopping by. Thank you for always popping up.
Listen, y'all lucky y'all got me this time. I am down for the count right now.
I'm about to
Honestly,
say, listen, they don't need to worry about none of that. This is audio. This ain't no physical.
you right.
This
You
is
right,
audio.
man.
Talking
Let me
about y'all lucky y'all got me
tell
this time. First of
you.
all, you gonna answer every time I call, okay?
Whoa!
you gonna answer. Hey, you wanna do an episode? You're gonna
I
say
want people to know
yes.
I am not an errand boy. Okay, especially right now. I guys. Let me first of all let me give y'all this piece
My
of
name
advice.
is Alicia, and that's real.
Whoa! Whoa!
I'm
Whoa!
just playing. I'm just playing.
Wow. Nah, for real. Let me give y'all this piece of advice, man. Take care of your bodies. Take care of you, especially like
Facts.
people in sports, man. Especially football, basketball, hockey,
Oh
any sport where
Lord,
you are losing your lower
listen,
body. I,
you ain't
take
have to
care of
do
yourself.
that. You ain't have to do the rundown now.
Listen, take care of yourself. This shit is no joke. Listen. anybody that has torn any ligament in their knee, I feel for you. I am feeling it right now. I swear to God, if you got surgery, I am also feeling it right
Oh
now.
my goodness. Listen,
Take care of
guys, all
yourself.
he's trying to say is take care of your mental and take care of your body. That's the two most important health that you can really focus on is your body and your mental. Let your body tell your mental to say, hey, I'm suffering, and let your mental help that.
Don't
Okay?
skip leg day. Do not skip leg day. Make sure you build that cartilage, bro, because goddamn, not even kidding. This shit hurt.
But if you want to be a part of the campaign, all the information, this black girl got something to say, or for the men version of that campaign is a black man's love to you. All the information will be linked in the description, especially on Instagram. Jaylen's information will be in the description of this episode. Thank you, Jaylen.
Thank you for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
Once again, my name is Alicia, and that's Real Talk.